If, like me, you're kind of floundering in your homeschool lately, or you just want to prevent that, don't look away. I have definitely been floundering, and everything is going okay. I have just felt really disconnected and like I'm not doing my best. And I know that's subjective. Like there are years when I don't feel like I'm doing my best, but I really am. It's just not. The other things were going on. In this case, I really am not doing my best. And it all comes to my number one tip, and that is to know your why. My priorities have been out of whack. Not in a bad way. We've been in a state of flux especially the past 6 months, last year, as many of you know if you've been around. And even a couple more things have happened this fall. And none of those things have really gone against my priorities in my homeschool. or for my priorities for life. But my why in my homeschool, and I've talked about this in a video, I'll put it up here, down here. It doesn't match up with my whys. And I'm not saying that everything you do has to match up to why you're homeschooling, and your priorities can change, all of that. When you know your why, the rest of your choices for your homeschool start becoming more clear. Maybe not perfectly, but they're going to. So, for example, one of my whys is because I genuinely enjoy hanging out with my kids. I enjoy being around them and getting to know them getting to know me in a different way, etc. But some of the choices I've made have meant that I've been spending less time in our homeschool. And now part of that is because I've been working more. And that's in some degree necessary. But it doesn't always, those hours don't always have to come out of my homeschool hours. And it's easy for me to say that I'm going to do it as part of homeschool. Oh my goodness, there's a giant bug on the other side of my taping window. I don't know what it is, but it's like this big and moving fast. That's lovely. And I'm up on the 3rd floor even. That bug's had a long crawl. So I am working more and I enjoy it and it's good for me, etc. It's easy for me to do those hours as part of my homeschool day because my boys are older, and a lot of what I'm doing when I'm in the homeschool room is just working while they're doing something else. But lately I've been working outside of the room. Well, then that takes out so many of those natural interactions that happen. So for me, part of what I'm changing is, oh good, now the bug's coming back down the window. Part of what I'm doing, need to change, is just being more present and be more available, even if it means that I'm working in the same room. So number 1, know your whys. Number 2, add in some breathing room. Because if you are floundering, it probably means that you're spending your day kind of spinning plates, right? Like you're going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And there's no time for breathing. Just sitting and doing it intentionally. And that, I think, is maybe even more important than adding in breathing room. I have time, like in the afternoon right now with one of my younger sons at soccer practice, that I'm working during part of it, but I'm also scrolling, honestly. And that's fine, it's in there. But I'm not doing it with intention. And so when I'm not doing it with intention, I've got that reel in my head about what I should be doing. So set in some breathing room and do it intentionally. And that brings me to tip number 3, which is to say yes to things with intention. If you want to be out of the house 5 nights a week doing whatever, kids things, your own things with your husband, whatever, great, do it. but do it because that's what you're actually choosing and not just because you feel like you should do it. On the opposite end, say no with intentionality. When we make our choices about what we are spending our time doing and what we're not, and we do it with intention, there's something freeing about that. Because even when it means that my life is busier because I add something in, I'm doing it because that's what I want to do. And because that's what I feel like is the best thing for myself and our home and our homeschool. And the same with saying no. It is really okay if you say no to the invitation to serve on a board, say no to another activity for your kiddos, say no to going out with friends. But do it intentionally because you deserve to have that breathing room as well. It's good for you mentally, it's good for you physically, and it's good for your family. And those are all great reasons to intentionally choose what you're saying yes and what you're saying no to. And going back to that reel that goes in my head about what I should be doing, let go of that. Let go of those things that you tell yourself. Let go of the guilt of the choices you've made in the past that haven't been the best, and the ones that you're going to make in the future that aren't going to be the best. Let go of a feeling like you're never going to be as perfect as such and such mom, as such and such homeschool, as such and such channel. Those are, you have your own illusions of what those people's lives are, but you don't have the whole story. And even if you did have the whole story, you are not them. And when our minds are so jumbled with all those thoughts we're telling ourselves and all the expectations we're putting on ourselves, there's no room for seeing what's in front of you now. And there's very little room to deal with what needs dealt with. And to make those choices that are going to intentionally set up your home for the priorities that you have for your family and the whys of why you homeschool. So, my friends, I'm saying all of this as much to myself as I am to you. Now, go check out that Why You Homeschool video, and I will see you over there.